Hey guys, welcome back to an episode of 12 Dreams for Fanatic. So today we have the Fight Club. They're not even calling it a particular name. It's FB-Z011. All right, but this is Edward Norton's famous character in the Fight Club film, and it is by a company called Fishbone Toys, which this is the first time I'm actually reviewing a figure by this company. So we'll see how it turns out. At the end, we're also going to be doing a side-by-side with a custom figure of this character that I've had for quite some time and see which one measures up as the best. Let's take a closer look. All right, so it looks like the box is damaged. I didn't do that. It came that way. I'm not that picky about it, but some of you might receive something like that and get freaked out and try to send it back for a new one. Not much to the slip anyway. Just got the picture of him all beat up on the front there, a little artistic interpretation there. I certainly hope that if you're watching this, you have already seen the movie Fight Club. It is a magical film. It makes a powerful message about consumerism, capitalism, a lot of sociological concepts in there that are pretty interesting. All right. Oh, kind of a mess in here. I don't know what that is. All right. We got a few things in here, all of them in plastic. Okay. Quite a few things in here. Oh, this definitely has accessories. All right. Let's take a look at the figure, of course, first. All right. So as far as the likeness goes, there's something off about the likeness. I mean, if you said this is my Fight Club figure, you could certainly say, okay, well then this must be Edward Norton. So there's enough of a similarity in the likeness. But I mean, they even got the little mole there. But it almost looks like a younger cartoonish version of him than how he looked in the film, because he looked pretty worn out in the film. This one looks like a healthy version of him, but like I said, a few years younger than he looked in the film. So that's a little off. Body's good enough. Got a good shape to the hands, but there's no variation in color there. No paint done on it. It's just the standard hand. The suit is lined on the inside. It's a little thicker than I would prefer as far as the material. So as a result, it looks a little stiff. The coloring is pretty much on point, maybe a little bit lighter than the one in the film, but pretty good. I'm not sure about the tie. I don't remember how the tie looked. And then you got a pocket there, and the pocket does work. And the fit of the pants is pretty good too. And it's got the crease. And then the shoes, no socks. I hate when they don't do socks. But you wouldn't probably be having him sitting down. And then you got this on the bottom. Looks like it might be magnetized so that he can stand on his base without having to have a figure clamp or something like that between his legs or around his waist, which I like, because I'm not a fan of having that. Some Hot Toys figures in particular, if you have that clamp in between the legs over a long period of time, it can cause permanent mark on the material, depending on what type of material Hot Toys used for the figure. So, pretty nice. Now let's get to some of these accessories. All right, so we've got a bat. And the bat's got some weight to it. Looks like an aluminum bat. It's made out of metal. And this is made out of metal as well. It's a little bent, but it's pliable, so you could bend it back into shape. And yeah, pretty nice. We've got a gun, also metal. Well, I love the metal they're doing here. Doesn't move at all. which is typical. It's like one or the other. You get a plastic handgun and it's got moving pieces, or it's a metal handgun and it's just a single sculpt painted. I don't know. You might prefer one or the other. I don't care. And then we got some alcohol bottles. We've got one mug of beer. We've got one bottle of whiskey. Is it whiskey? So it says whiskey, blended Scotch whiskey, but it's a clear bottle. So unless it's intended on being an empty bottle, that should actually be dark. And then we got a Budweiser beer, and they spelled it out. They didn't do some kind of funky spelling so that they could avoid getting sued by Budweiser. But yeah, that's pretty accurate. And then looks like we got 2 magazines. I don't remember National Geographic magazines in the film. The only magazine I remember that he had was the catalog for what I forget we called it in the film, but it was supposed to be like a knockoff of IKEA at the beginning of the film. So that would have been better to include. And then we got some bundles of newspaper. I remember this from the worn out house that they occupied, that there was a bunch of these bundles of old newspapers and I think book reports or something. And then we've got a cigarette and a pack of cigarettes. All right, so cigarette, not much to it. It's just a single white stick with red at the end. I've seen better. Like, you really want to have maybe some red at the tip, but you also want black around that as well for the burnt paper. So they kind of took a shortcut there. And then this kind of poorly done Marlboro, pack of Marlboros. Yeah, I've seen better as far as this goes as well. We've got a very heavy base. So it is a solid piece of wood. And then it looks like it has a metal sheet on top, circular sheet. And like I said, I'm sure that's to magnetize the feet against it. And then we've got some extra hands. Four extra hands. And I think that's it. Yeah. So quite a bit of accessories. Let's take a closer look at this figure setup now. I'll give you my final thoughts. All right, so here it is all set up, side by side with my custom that I've had for a while. Now, if you take a closer look at the head sculpts, you will see that my custom, it looks a little bit more like Edward Norton. And I actually detailed it a little bit to make him look beat up. And then this one, it just doesn't look like him, especially side by side with this one. Even the hairstyle, it's a little bit too messy on this one. Yeah, I don't like it. But I do like this feature here. I mean, snaps right in. Look at this. Boom. I love it. I wish all the figures did this. That is great. With my custom here, I also, it's Fernie. Remember I said that it was like IKEA knockoff. It was a Fernie magazine that he was reading in the bathroom. And then I have this little "Hello, my name is Cornelius" sticker. This is from when he was attending the group therapy sessions. A little bit of blood on the collar here. Finer details. But I do like the cut and the color of this suit. I think it's more screen accurate. The tie, I think, also had a pattern as well. I don't think it was solid black. But other than that, focusing directly on the figure that we just reviewed, I do think that all the accessories it came with gives it a little bit of a boost as far as my final score. There's definitely a shortcoming in the head sculpt, which I got to take off significant points for because that's kind of the focus of the whole figure in the first place. So I'm going to give it a 7.1. I'm actually probably going to take the head off of my custom and put it on this figure and then sell the other one on eBay, get rid of it. But I have no regrets about buying this figure overall. And yeah, I think it'll look great next to my Brad Pitt. Thanks for tuning in, guys. See you next time.